let's talk about your game, because I know, where you are in your life, and I know where you are. You're a veteran on the tour, and you're trying to keep your game in great shape. Where is the state of the game today, and how, what are you focused on? How do you get the game to move forward all the time? I mean, you and I talk a lot, and I still work on my game. I know you work on your game very hard. Where are you, and what are you doing currently?
Yeah, so it's been a struggle for the last couple of years with golf for me. I haven't played my best. Obviously, I'm getting to an older age, but I still feel pretty good physically. I still feel like I move pretty good. I've still got good speed. I don't have top speed like some of these guys, but I can get driver going 115, 116, 117 club head speed. So that's good enough. I think the biggest thing I struggled with is when I played really well on the tour and things were going well, I wasn't thinking about the mechanics of the golf swing a lot. That was really good for me, and I just had a maintenance schedule. If I was at home, I just needed to put some time in on a couple things. When I went on the road, I could, just have my warm-up sessions, and for the most part, when I played, the ball went where I was looking. In the last couple of years, I've really struggled with that, and I think I got into some bad habits. You and I have talked about it some. I've talked to Chuck Cook about it. I've talked to some other people in the instruction world about it. And I think, I used to do something really good with my weight shift. I'd get off the golf ball a little bit in my backswing, and then I'd start to recenter and start moving that weight and that center of mass left and getting on my left side. And I didn't know I did it. I didn't feel that I did it. It was just when I swung a golf club, that's what happened. And that's a great way to play. I think that's how all the top tour players play. They don't, things just happen, that are supposed to happen. And, say 3 or 4 years ago, probably closer to 3 years ago, for whatever reason, I stopped shifting that weight that way. And I started playing off my back foot, which is not a great place to play the tour from. It's hard to control the club face, hard to get any compression on the golf ball, and your dispersion can increase. So, that leads, when you start hitting the ball crooked and it's not going where you want it to go, that leads to some confidence issues, and it becomes harder and harder to play. And it also becomes, you kind of get caught up in the mechanics, and you can't even go to the first tee and play the game, right? You're so consumed by managing your golf swing that, the aspects of playing the game of golf, hitting shots, hitting the targets, becomes secondary. So it's been a struggle, but I was able to work with the AMG golf guys, Athletic Motion Golf. They have a force plate. They have that gear system. And I was able to capture some data that you can't see on video, right? And you can't see on a TrackMan. I can make TrackMan look however I want. That doesn't mean I'm doing it the right way. So, and that gave me some information about where my weight was, and how much I was turning. And, people are familiar with that. It measures a lot of points on your body 3-dimensionally. So that was about a month ago or so. And I've slowly started to feel like I'm closer to what I was doing, when I played my best on tour. So that's given me some confidence. I played about I don't know when Dominican was, almost a month ago. I played at Dominican, and I talked to you, and I talked to a lot of people that are involved personally with me around my game of golf, that was the first event after the first round or so. You've been struggling so long and things are going well, you still have like this little guy on your shoulder telling you like it might go wrong here in a minute. That this might not be the. So
it might work until we get to this hole 15 and with the crosswind into off the left, and that'll be the real test to see if it's really working or not, right?
Still managing golf swing, right? So after the first round, and I told you this and some other people, I finally got to a place where I could play golf and I didn't have to, worry so much about managing my swing. So I feel much better with my golf swing. I think I'm getting physically and mechanically closer to where I did or where I was when I played my best. And we'll see. I've struggled in my career with my putting, but I've I've worked really hard on my putting and kind of accepted the fact that I need to use the claw grip. And that's given me a lot of freedom, and I've gotten more comfortable with that. And I've gotten to where I can actually putt now and just focus on a routine, and I'm not managing my putting as much either. So we'll see. I felt good at the Dominican. We played a team event last week at Zurich. I was paired with Austin Cook. I thought we played pretty well. We ended up missing the cut by one, but we didn't make a lot of putts. But we played alternate shot. We hit 11 fairways and 16 greens. So I feel like I'm pretty good. I have some events coming up. I'm playing, including this one. I think I'm playing 5 of the next 7 weeks. And then there'll be a qualifier for US Open. Hopefully I can get through that, play another US Open. And then we'll finish out the year after that with probably 4 or 5 events. So this category.
Of course, you'll be at the PGA where you're a past champion at Southern Hills. It was interesting. You told me on the phone not too long ago, you had a conversation with Patrick Cantlay, who's one of the best players on our tour now. And tell us what he was thinking about with his game. It was very, very different conversation you and I had. Just to give you an example of what you just spoke of and some of the struggles that we have on tour. I say we because I've been in your chair many times. But tell us about Patrick. You went up to Patrick Cantlay and spoke to him about his game.
Hung out with him for a couple of days around the Honda Classic, and obviously had a phenomenal year last year. Won the FedEx Cup, and I think he won 3 or maybe 4 events, and just won at Zurich. And I think all tour players pick players' brains from time to time. And I just started out with what do you and your coach work on? And he replied, not much really, just like address stuff and make sure I'm aiming at the right spot and my ball position's good. And I was like, oh, so like you just swing it and it goes where you want it to? And he's like, yeah, for the most part. I was like, oh, that must be nice.
Yeah, I mean, he's really on automatic, right?
Yeah, and you can probably attest to this, and I certainly can attest to this. When I was playing my best in my career, there wasn't a lot of mechanical thoughts going on when I played golf. The ball just went where I wanted it to go often enough, if that makes sense, I got to the point where I had a good enough control of my golf swing that when I looked at the ball and I wanted it to start here or there, it went more often than not there. You might miss your distances. Obviously, golf's an extremely challenging game because of conditions and wind and all these things. So sometimes you hit great shots and they don't work out. And some weeks you get a whole boatload of those and you miss a cut or you finish 50th. But more often than not, the ball went where I wanted it to go. So that's a great place to play because then, like I spoke on earlier, you can focus on all the things you need to do to score, right? How am I going to play this hole? Where can I position the ball to give myself the best chance at birdie? And that I don't want to say fear, but just that managing your golf swing is kind of gone, right? Because more often than not, it goes where you're looking. So it's a great place to play. I think lots and lots of the world's best play from that state of mind. And unfortunately for me, I was in that state of mind for a long time. I would say starting in 2009 all the way through to 18 or 19. I just kind of showed up. I had a maintenance plan and I knew I was going to hit it pretty good for the week. And then in 19, the ball slowly but surely stopped going at the target as much. And you start having questions and you're trying to manage your swing and your confidence is down and all these things that make golf challenging for the everyday player becomes a reality for a tour player. So it's been difficult. Also, like I spoke on earlier, I'm 45 years old. So you get those questions in your mind. Is the game passed me by? Am I not, physically able to do this as well as I would like anymore.
And you've got another 125 racehorses on the same course with you every day too, right?
Yeah, very out here, very competitive. But for me, I need to be able to hit the ball where I'm looking. Really, that's something I've struggled with, and I'm getting better with it. And then, just being able to think about playing the game a little bit and scoring, and there's some keys that I always look at. Like, I always talk to the college kids. There's some things you just can't do when you play golf. You can't make bogeys on par fives. You can't hit it in penalty hazards. You can't hit it out of bounds. You can't take penalty shots. You need to be really good inside of, say, 6 feet, maybe even 8 feet, a whole lot of putts. You can't have 3 putts, and you can't make bogeys inside 150 yards. So if I can kind of clean those things up, then I think I can have a good week. But a lot of that relies on, can I execute? In my opinion, I think the mental part, for me, I've never been able to fake confidence, if that makes any sense. I've never been that guy that can spray it all over the driving range.
Me either. It's one thing for Tiger Woods, who had a lot of power, who was way out there, could kind of buy some time, so to speak, with the length he had. But you and I, if you're not on and you're way back or whatever, you feel like you get behind the 8 ball a little bit. I mean, I did. I know how you feel about it.
I need to see some good stuff, and then I'll be confident. The mental side to me was always predicated on how my physical acts were going. I don't want to be out there managing my golf swing. If I'm aiming at a bunker and trying to hit a little cut off of that, I want to be able to hit that shot 4 out of 5 times. I don't want to see one go way left of the bunker and the next one cut 40 yards. And that's where I was for a while. And it's hard to play the game from there. So, I'm encouraged with what I'm doing. I'm still working hard. I think, people have assumptions that I've gotten to the point in my career where I go home and put the clubs up for a week and just show up when I get in. But I still work pretty hard. I'm still, 5-6 times a week when I'm at home. I'm in the gym. I'm practicing 4 or 5 hours a day. I'm still trying to be competitive out here because I think I can still win. Can I be a top 20 player in the world? Maybe not, but I think that I can win out here in the right week and the right circumstances, and I certainly think I can play well enough to finish in the top 125.
For sure. Okay, well, you've had it. That was a great conversation with us. Thanks for your time. We, of course, are always pulling for you and all of our Secret Golf contributors, but you and I, talk a lot. So I think you've got a fair amount of the hard part past you. Now I think it's time to see what we can get out there and do, right?
Yeah, it just took a bit of time to figure out why the ball wasn't going where I was looking anymore, and I needed some of that technology that we talked about. I can't see weight shift on a video. I can't see weight shift on a TrackMan number. We can make assumptions about it, like we talked about. You and I talked about. I sent you a video one time, and you started saying, "Looks like, man, you're really on your right side. The weight hasn't shifted to the left." And we can make those assumptions, but when you go and get on a force plate and you can see that data, you get that. I'm confident. Oh, okay. The one thing I wish is when I was playing my best, that I had that data already, right? That technology didn't even exist 7-8 years ago. So, a bit of a process, and we'll just keep playing golf until I can't play anymore. There's no more tournaments to play.
Well, as Jackie Book would say, it sounds good, but be ready for a disaster. That's always his tip that he left me with whenever I talk to on the phone to him. That's what he would always say. And of course, if he was on this call, Jason, he would say that to you too.
Always disaster lurking when you're playing on the PGA Tour, and sometimes it's out of your control. So it's how you can rebound from that and manage that. And, move forward from that. I've always been pretty good about moving forward on things. So. I have good intentions on the first tee every week. I think I'm gonna win every week. It doesn't always work out. Sometimes, most of the time lately, I've been fired on Friday.